Hello everyone. Today we are going to learn the difference between median and altitude. First of all, the important thing is these two terminologies are associated with triangle only. So we'll discuss it in terms of triangle. So let's start with the first difference between the two, that is their definition, and let's see how they differ in terms of their definition. So these are the definition of median and altitude that I have already written here. So our first concern is we will see how they differ in their definition one by one so that you can easily differentiate between them. So we'll start with the median. Median is a line segment drawn from a vertex to the midpoint of opposite side of a triangle. We are talking about the triangle, and these are the terminologies that are associated with triangle only. So while an altitude is a line segment drawn from a vertex perpendicular to opposite side. So that the two things that differ in their definitions are, one is in median we have an important thing that is the midpoint, and in altitude we have a important thing that is the perpendicular. It means they differ in only the way they are intersecting to the opposite side. So let's draw them so that you can easily understand how they differ, and you will understand its definition in a better way once I'll draw it. So these are the three different types of triangle that I have chosen to draw the median in all the three different triangles, so that you can easily understand their concepts both in terms of median as well as altitude. So first of all, we will draw the medians. So here we have three different types of triangle. The first one is the right triangle, the next one is acute triangle, and this is obtuse triangle. So these are three different types of triangle on the basis of the angles they are forming. But our main concern here is how we will draw their median. In case of right triangle, if we look at its definition, we need a line segment drawn from a vertex. Now what is vertex? Vertex are these points of the triangle, and we have to draw a line segment, a line from these vertex to the midpoint of opposite side. So if I mark the midpoint of these sides as this is the midpoint of this side, midpoint is this, and this is the midpoint of this side, and I'll draw the line segment from the vertex to the midpoint, and another line segment from the vertex to the midpoint, and another line segment from the vertex to the midpoint. So these are called the median of the right triangle, medians. So a right triangle or a triangle have the maximum of 3 medians because it has 3 vertices. Similarly, if we have an acute triangle, again we have to follow the same procedure. We have to mark the mid like this, and then we will start from the vertex and will pass through the center of the opposite side. Again we'll start from the vertex and pass through the center of the opposite side, and same is the case for the third one. Then same is for the obtuse, like this, and like this. It means the important thing is the line segment should pass through the midpoint of the opposite side. So we have to start from the vertices and end at the midpoint of the opposite side. So these are called medians. While in case of altitudes, what we have is, again if I write here that this is a right triangle, this is acute, and this is obtuse. So how we will draw the altitude, or what is altitude, here are the main concern that we need to understand. So what is its definition? A line segment drawn from a vertex. So vertices are these, as I already told you, from a vertex perpendicular to opposite side. So important point here is that the line that is coming out of the vertex should be perpendicular to the opposite side. So there is no condition of the midpoint. So we have to find the points that are perpendicular. So if I say in this right triangle, if I say this is vertex 1, this is 2, and this is 3. So if I start from the vertex 1, it will be like this. And it is not necessary that this line should pass through the center of the opposite side. It just needs to be perpendicular. That is, it must make a 90-degree angle with that opposite side. If I draw the line segment from a vertex number 3, so it will not be like this as in the case of vertex number 1, because it will start from here and it will be like this. So because we cannot say it will cut the line or the opposite side at any other position, because this is the only position in which it is making a 90-degree angle with the opposite side. Then we have the vertex number 3. From here again the line segment will be like this and it is cutting the opposite side at 90-degree angle. So this is the 90-degree angle. So this is how you have to draw the altitudes of the right triangle. So they are meeting each other at this point. Then same in the case of median, we have a meeting point. Here we have a meeting point. Here we have a meeting point of 3 medians. And same in case of altitude, we should have the meeting point of all the 3 altitudes. Now in case of acute triangle, what we will do is, again we have to draw the perpendiculars in the opposite side. So if I draw from this point, from this vertex, it will be like this, as it is making 90 degree with the opposite side. Then I have to draw from this line and this will be 90 degree from the on the opposite side, and same is the case if I draw like this, so it will be 90 degree again. So all these 3 line segments that are originating from the vertices are intersecting or cutting the opposite sides at 90 degree to each other. So they are meeting at which point? If I label it, this will be a point. Then in case of obtuse triangle, there will be a different case. Keep this in your mind and it's very important to understand. If I look at the vertex, if I label it A, B and C, I am labeling it just for ease because it's quite a bit difficult as compared to right and acute angle. So the altitude of the vertex A will be easier like this, as it is making 90 degree with the opposite side. But the altitude of the vertex B and C will be different. How? If I make it as, its altitude must be like this. For this we have to extend this side in the backward position and we have to move it downward. This will be the altitude of the vertex C on the opposite side. Same is the case of the vertex B, that what will be its altitude. For this we have to extend this side like this, and if I use another color and I have to draw the altitude in this position. So this will be the altitude, and if I drag it like this, why I am dragging it in the backward direction? Because I have to make all these 3 altitudes to cut each other at a single point. So if I extend this one in the backward direction and this one in the backward direction, so they all meet at a single point. I am drawing something a little bit rough, so you will see a little bit difference. Otherwise they all meet at one point. All the altitudes should meet at one point. So altitude should be at right position, or should make a 90 degree angle with the opposite side. So this is how we can make the altitude. So median and altitude differ in terms of their intersection. That altitude should intersect at 90 degree and the median should intersect at midpoint of the opposite side. So another difference between them is the point, that what we call the point at which all these 3 medians intersect each other. Medians intersect each other at centroid. The word is centroid. That means this is centroid. Same is the case for this is centroid and this is also centroid. I'm just writing C here. While in case of the altitude, the point where all the altitudes meet intersect at orthocenter. The word is orthocenter. So that means that this point is orthocenter. I'm just writing O. This point is orthocenter. And this point is also orthocenter. So another difference between the two is the medians always lie inside the triangle, meet each other inside the triangle. While in case of altitudes, as we have discussed above, that they can be outside, in case of obtuse triangle, outside the triangle. So another difference between the two is medians are sometimes perpendicular. So it is sometimes perpendicular, not always, like in the case of equilateral triangle, while altitudes have the condition that they must always be perpendicular to the opposite side. So the last difference between the two is the median divides the opposite sides into 2 equal halves because they are intersecting at the center of the opposite side. So I will write here divides the opposite side in two equal halves, while there is no such condition in case of altitudes. While altitude may divide may or may not, like in case of equilateral triangle, divide the opposite side into equal halves. So there is only one case in which we will have the median and altitudes that are same. That is in case of equilateral triangle, in which we have all the three sides and angle equals, and we can say that we have the altitudes and medians that are same in that case. So that's all from today's lecture. This is the main difference between them. Hope so now your concept will be clear regarding the medians and altitudes. Thank you.